everyone, welcome back. It's a beautiful evening here in Maine, and we just got an inch and a quarter of rain last night. The birds are singing, and I can feel that the garden is happy because the weeds are gone. Not all of them, but most of them, and the vegetable plants have grown at least 2 inches in 2 days. And they really respond to TLC. I'm going to give you a tour and explain to you why I planted things the way I planted, and also to share with you my philosophy behind cover cropping. So let's go. Hi, puppies. So I've got some Swiss chard and romaine lettuce and a variety of lettuce called deer tongue, some fennel, bulb fennel that I started this spring, and then I started fennel by seed down in there. There's the fennel that I started by seed a couple weeks ago. Some sage and kale, cosmos, and spilanthes from my friend Dawn. I think I did start an Ella campaign seeds too in there. Hopefully they do something before it gets too cold. Some tomatoes right next to the yarrow, and then cabbages and onions. And I wanted to plant the onions around the cabbages to help repel the cabbage moth. It might deter it a little bit. And then winter beans and corn. It's coming up. This is a Georgia sweet pumpkin. It's an heirloom variety that originally came from the Cherokee, and it passed the seed on. So I'm really thankful to have it. I've grown it 2 years in a row now. It produces a pumpkin the shape of a canoe. And the biggest one I've grown is about this long, and it's about this big around, but it's shaped like a canoe or shaped like a banana. And the skin is really thick, and it stores for a good, I'd say a good 5 months before it even starts to look funky. Very, very good. Can you tell what this is? If you're a plant lover, you probably know that it's plantain. I'm gonna let it grow and then make a salve out of it in the fall. I make a salve out of it with comfrey, yarrow, coconut oil, and beeswax. I share it with my mom and friends. This is Blue Hubbard. And I left my weeds here for a reason. I've noticed that the Blue Hubbard is not as infested with the cucumber beetles or squash bugs as bad as typical. Blue Hubbard is like their favorite. So my thinking is that this weed, this food, lamb's quarters, must have a repelling effect because the insects go by smell. And so I just left it. I cleaned out around the base, and then I'm just gonna leave it because it looks really good. It's amazing. The squash bugs go right to the blue Hubbard. Like they've advised, gardeners have advised to use blue Hubbard as a bait for cucumber beetles and squash bugs. And so here I have buttercup and butternut. What do you think, Lacey? Are you taking good care of the carrots? She loves to lay wherever I just worked, which inevitably is a fresh, cleaned bed of vegetable seedlings. But they rebound. I don't worry about it. She's my partner. Just a few weeds, eh? I'm gonna get this all done today, even if it does rain. See how it's wet, but it drains really well. Even when we get a lot of moisture, everything still continues to grow because it drains so well. I'm really grateful for that. Fresh beet greens to go in the salad. It's lunchtime. Every season is so unique in gardening. Like, I don't remember last year there being this many lamb's quarters. I'm halfway there, on this side anyway. See, this area here, I didn't seed with the clover like I did in the other parts of the garden. I had ran out of the seed, and I wish that I had of, because it would have saved me a lot of time. As you could see in the other part of the garden, it's everywhere where the cover crop is, there's a lot less weeds. Yeah, there's a few pieces of grass and lamb's quarters coming up, but nothing like this. So to me, it's very worth it to spend that extra money on the seed. And so on that subject of cover cropping, then you've got a whole variety of choices that you can choose from. But for the walkways, you want to choose a low growing ground cover, and typically that's the clover. And for this purpose, I used Dutch white clover. And so here you've got a low growing ground cover. It's resilient to being walked on, and also it's fixating nitrogen into your soil. So that is the cover crop number one that I've planted in my walkways, and I wished I had planted it here. So I'm going to go back to weeding. I am going to put these weeds to good use. Some of them will go into the compost, but all of the stuff that I get out of here is going to dry out, and then it's going to go back right back on this ground. And so this is buckwheat. So there's a couple of things that buckwheat does as a cover crop. Well, there's actually 4 things that buckwheat does as a cover crop. It has rapid, dense growth, as you can see. This was planted the 1st of June, and it's now July. It is excellent bee forage. That's what it's called. And these beautiful white flowers. I sure hope the honeybees come. Planted and they will come, maybe. That's my hope. Improves the nutrient availability in the soil. So then when you go and plant whatever crop you're going to plant after this, that crop has more of an ability to get the nutrients from the soil. Interesting, I think. So that's my reason for planting the buckwheat. And I have okra here, and spinach, and Swiss chard. Behind me is Lacey, and I think she's decided that the cover crop of Dutch white clover is a really good cooling blanket. And actually that's what it does for the soil. Keeps moisture in. This next to me is oats and the ladybug. So the reason that I'm growing the oats and the peas together are, number one, the peas provide nitrogen fixing into the soil. The oats provide weed suppression and organic matter. The peas also provide organic matter. And the oats are quick growing, so when you plant them together, you plant a percentage of oats and a percentage of peas. I think I got the percentage a little off. I should have planted less oats and more peas, but irregardless, I'm learning about it, and so it's okay. But the oats, because they grow fast, so these oats are a month old, and the peas are also a month old, but they're only 6 inches tall, and the oats are 12 inches tall, so now the peas have something to grow up. And so I'll let the oats go until they start making seed, because then I'll harvest the seed. There's several different ways to do the oats. And what I'm going to share with you is, when I harvest my garlic, what I will do is I'll clean the bed, and then I will sow a nice, proper mixed blend of oats and field peas in that garlic bed. My garlic is definitely ready. This corner of the garden, I've got sweet potatoes. And this is the clover. And green beans. And a short row of Adam gherkin pickling cucumbers. And this is my cabbage that I started this spring indoors, and cauliflower. And then this is another variety of pickling cucumber. This is an heirloom tomato seed that I got from a friend who's a fellow gardener. It's a Mediterranean tomato. Great when you can get a seed from a friend and perpetuate a variety of heirloom tomato. And I always grow marigolds with my tomato plants. Always. But they're coming along. I wasn't sure they were going to make it because they just didn't look good. I started them from seed. They just did not look good this spring when I put them in the ground, but once they got into Mother Earth, they were happy. The gift of seeds is, to me, one of the best gifts, especially when it comes from your mom. My mom grows hollyhocks in her garden in Colorado, and typically she has an amazing hollyhock patch, and she harvested the seed for me and shared them with me 2 years ago. I planted this seed 2 years ago, and this is the first year that they've done anything. So I'm really excited. And it's surprising, I got a beautiful maroon color bulb and then this hot pink. So I don't know what the rest of them are going to be. It's kind of cool. Oh. And amaranth. Amaranth is a very ancient grain. It'll get very tall, about 3 feet tall, and it'll put out a beautiful red plumage. There she is. This is bulb fennel. It's delicious roasted. I like it roasted with potatoes. Of course, I like anything roasted with potatoes. I'm growing 300 pounds of them. And then this is bulb fennel that I started from seed. I got pretty good germination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have to transplant a couple of them. I think I'm going to pull it so it doesn't get too bitter. You can just harvest the outside leaves. Doesn't it look yummy? I'm going to pull it. Now this one can get nice and big. Is there another one growing there with it? There is. I have planted 4 watermelon that are suited for this area. And then a variety of honeydew. just got a good rain, so everything's gonna go crazy. And then this is a variety of cantaloupe. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, and stay tuned to the next video. I will be talking about planting the cover crop of field peas and oats in my garlic bed, and my process for it, and the reason I'm going to be using that as a mulch for my garlic when I plant the garlic in November. So take care.